Welcome to another episode of Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks, the podcast that's not afraid, you're afraid.
Afraid of what, Matt?
I'm your host, Matt, and with me as always is your co-host, Garrett.
Hi, I'm Garrett.
So we decided this week to take a little break from the back and forth with the bet and stuff because it's a couple days before Halloween.
Yeah, so technically you won the last one, so the next one is still yours.
Yeah,
but for this episode, we decided to do something in the season, in the spirit of the season.
A little different. Just a little different.
It's just getting higher.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what are we watching?
We're gonna watch Sorority Row,
which it's been described to me as a horror chick flick.
So my the love of my life told me
food.
Whoa! So my open faced roast beef turkey and turkey sandwich told me no. My fiance said, you guys got to do that for Halloween because it's a horror movie that is still a chick flick,
and we do all the things that she wants to do.
No, but it's fucking seasonal, and like I think this is really cool because we don't really get the opportunity to a lot of these movies are rom-coms or straight up romance or whatever.
Yeah,
coming of age stories, whatever.
It's a lot of coming of age stories,
right? Crossroads comes to mind, but like this is an opportunity to do something kind of different, and I'm really stoked to watch it. Actually, I'm like, I don't know what to expect from her description of it.
Yeah, I've never even heard. I mean, I've never heard of this movie, and cursory glance over at IMDb page, it's kind of a nothing movie. There's like no one big attached to it.
I think it's just like a slasher, though. I think ultimately it's a slasher that might have like a.
Here's a fun fact for you: I hate horror movies.
I don't love horror movies either.
I was like always afraid of them as kids. As a kid, not as kids. I wasn't multiple kids. I was one kid.
A singular kid.
I was a singular kid, and I was never a fan of horror movies.
I got real scared real often. We were talking about this earlier. You ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, no, because I was a fucking scaredy cat.
I watched it like when I was older in syndication with all the lights on.
Yeah, and still with all the lights on
and
in the day.
Yeah, and like even as an adult, it was too much.
And every like commercial break, you'd yell upstairs, "Mom,
just checking,
just checking."
You still there?
Okay. No, I don't want juice. I'm good.
Yeah. So I mean, neither one of us had ever heard of this movie. I vaguely remember like a commercial or something. Like I had heard of it, I think, but like neither of us know anything about it. Neither of us has seen it. Which leads me to Matt. Is there any trivia for this movie?
No.
Okay, but like I'm sure there's like a little bit of it.
Nope.
But like if you
zero.
But if you did a real
so little trivia.
But a deep dive would.
No.
Okay.
Look, there's probably stuff listed. I just. It's very nothing.
Is anyone of note in this movie?
Okay, so sorry. The movie was from 2009, so not that long ago.
The spookiest of years, right?
You promised you wouldn't do the laugh. You promised you wouldn't do the laugh. Anyway, yeah. So it's from less than 10 years ago. It's directed by Stuart Hendler.
Sure.
He did the Halo 4 Forward Onto Dawn miniseries.
Don't know it.
And Max Steel. Also don't know
it.
So that's it. It stars Brianna Engen?
No idea. Go on.
Rumor Willis, who I think is Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that's definitely Bruce Willis. Yeah, okay. So that's someone.
Leah Pipes.
No idea.
Jamie Chung. She sounds familiar. I feel like she's in things.
Leah Pipes sounds like a code name a weed dealer would use.
Leah Pipes.
I'm going to call my weed dealer Leah. Oh, Leah who? I don't know. She's in my phone.
She's
Leah
Pipes. Yeah. She just goes by Leah Pipes. The biggest name attached to this movie is Carrie Fisher.
What was her character's name? It was like Miss something.
It's like Mrs. Featherbottom or something.
Do we think she's like the sorority I don't know how do sororities work? Like a matron.
Mrs. Crenshaw.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, so good.
And Julian Morris. He's also someone, but I have no idea who. Like I've seen him before in my life.
Idea.
But...
No like blockbuster stars other than Carrie Fisher. Nobody like knocking my socks off other than Carrie Fisher.
Right.
There's no like Cameron Diaz money here,
Right. I don't think there's I wouldn't imagine there's very much money in this at all.
We'll look up the budget and stuff later, I guess. But
okay.
It's sad to me that there's nothing interesting or notable trivia-wise. Like
it was just like, the X auditioned to be Y, but ended up being Z instead.
Riveting.
Storytelling.
So again, to continue the Halloween
you promised
episode, this week we didn't try to link the name or anything to a beer or a drink. We just went with a pumpkin beer.
It's from Southern Tier Brewing Company.
What's it called?
Pumpkin. There's a G on it, so he's like the king of pumpkins.
So this was like I feel like we both don't really love pumpkin beers.
I actually very much dislike.
I don't think I've ever had this one, but I did a search of like best pumpkin beers.
Oh yeah, people have talked about this a lot.
This is like top 5 on most of the lists I saw. So it's an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. It's 8.6. So that's a little boozy. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the packaging says pumpkin pie in a glass. If it is, hey,
I love pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah,
I don't really love pies, but I like pumpkin pie.
There's a little jack-o'-lantern guy on the box
with
and everything. Well, yeah, because he's a pumpkin and a king, but also it's spooky. So I don't know. I feel like
it's like he's inhabited by a ghost.
Were you holding that?
I was really hoping I could get a ghost out of there.
I hope there are no ghosts in this movie, so that you never do that again.
Never allowed to do it again.
Although I have to tell you, like, I don't love horror movies.
Yeah, me neither.
But I am excited to watch this movie and drink this beer. The theme of it all is like actually like pretty like I'm excited about it. It seems fun to me.
Sure. I mean, it'll be fun.
We're a couple days out from Halloween.
Well,
I don't know.
At the time of recording this, we're like a week out, but like it'll come out. It'll come out a couple days out from Halloween.
Why are you breaking the fourth wall?
But this is the start of hopefully what we're gonna do, like theme episodes around holidays and.
No, keep going. I'm like the backtrack.
No, I hate it. I hate it so much. I've never liked this.
All right, so
I've never liked you.
No trivia.
Yeah.
We covered the beer. We are going to actually have a bet for this, and here's my idea.
Okay. To be fair, we came up with this separately. And we brought it together. We were like,
we texted each other basically at the exact same time what we wanted the bet to be. So here's my idea because you technically you have a bet in your back pocket right now for next week, right? Like,
sure.
Because you won last week.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think of a bet yet because I didn't think of a movie.
No, but I'm saying like you have a win. Like
okay, gotcha. So, what would be the result of this bet?
The result of this bet, I think, should be the next holiday movie we watch, which would probably be if there's a Thanksgiving movie.
I'm sure there's at least like a
Hallmark or something
into
it. So the next like holiday movie is yours. So like the holiday movies, like the themed holiday movies, like exist on a different scale.
Wavelength.
Yeah.
I get that.
So like you get to decide, let's say the Thanksgiving movie, if we'll do the Thanksgiving movie.
Okay.
Or if we don't do Thanksgiving, you get to decide the first Christmas because we're going to do like 4 Christmas movies.
Oh, so many Christmas
So excited.
movies.
But all right, so is that cool?
Yeah, I think that works out fine.
All right, so when we return to regularly scheduled broadcasting next week,
I'll have something set up to torture Garrett and you all.
Right. I'll be waterboarded via
Chick-flick.
All right. So the bet that we both came to at the exact same time, apparently this morning, was the only thing we know about this movie is that it is like a horror-y, slasher-y type movie. Yes. So at least somebody's got to die. So the bet was
we're going to do body count.
The bet was body count. How many people are going to get killed in this movie?
Sure.
I don't mean people that die. Like if they mention someone who died before the movie, you know,
it's got to be on-screen deaths.
I mean, we don't know how like gory the movie is. I'm just saying, like, how many people like the killer kills in this movie
in the time that the movie
takes place. Yes.
Okay, but does that count? So if it's like, did you hear they got Jimmy yesterday and they never show Jimmy getting got?
Yeah. If it takes place during the movie, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right.
What, are we going to not count off-screen deaths?
I mean, like, Jimmy wasn't important enough.
If someone's running at Jimmy with a knife and then it cuts away, then the next scene is like...
See, but this is where the misunderstanding is, because, like, that I count. But, like, if it's just, like, they're all in the sorority
I can almost guarantee you that won't happen.
Okay, fine. So, yes, body count.
Body count in the movie, during the time of the movie, nothing before.
Sure.
They're like, did you hear about that accident 20 years ago where the car went off the cliff and...
Count it.
And they also...
Count it.
No, we're not counting it. That's what we're saying.
No, count it.
I hate you. Technically, I guess because you won, you're kind of the reigning champ. You bet first. Again, I know you don't love it, but it's the only way to go. Price is Right rules without going over. How many people die in this movie, Matt? Oh, wait. One more qualifying thing.
This is a nightmare.
One more qualifying thing.
This is my nightmare.
If the killer gets killed, right? If the killer dies, does that count?
Yeah, it's the body count. It's part of the body count.
Okay, so it's not killer. It's not people killed by the killer. It's body count in the movie.
Yeah, body count in the movie.
Okay, go ahead. How many people die in this movie?
Go ahead. Let's see. 2009. You gotta up the skill. Well, if
2009 was a prude year in terms of
I'm
body
just saying,
count.
like, if it's the
agree.
80s, you like they get away with like having 3 murders in the movie, and people are being like, "Oh my goodness." 2009, you gotta up the ante.
We're talking hundreds of thousands,
millions dead.
Jesus, man.
I don't fucking know. 10.
Okay, I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say 4. 4 is my number.
That's low. I feel like that's low, but I mean, hey, you do you.
Okay, so 4 and 10. All right, so that's it. So we're gonna drink a bunch of
Southern Tier
pumpkin Imperial Pumpkin Ale, and we're gonna watch
turn the lights down low.
Sorority Row and be really fucking scared. Probably, like, I've never said, like, if it's remotely scary, we'll be like inching closer to each other on the couch and like hiding under the same blanket to cover our eyes. But whatever. Anyway,
like we do with every movie.
if you're gonna watch and you haven't watched, pause us here. Otherwise, we're sorry for whatever happens next.
And we'll see you on the other side.
You did it, and you hated me for doing it, but
I
then
hate
you
you.
did it.
I just hate
but
you.
didn't it feel good?
It felt a little good.
It felt good.
And we're back.
And we're back.
That never gets old, I promise. So we're back from watching Sorority Row, and let me tell you, it was less than scary.
I felt like
There was a couple jump scares, for sure.
so I felt nervous at points earlier in the movie than later in the movie, because like once you realize like how this was going down, I feel like I stopped being
Nervous.
or even a little bit sad. Like I actually, even the jump scares kind of got me less and less. I got desensitized to that real quick.
Right. So
Broad strokes.
broad strokes,
How'd you feel about this movie?
I hated it. And it's not because it wasn't it's not because I don't like scary movies. It's because this wasn't particularly scary. And it, like, I know it's supposed to be like a slasher, but it's not really even that. Like, there's no real gore to it. And I'm not it's not that I want the gore. It's just that it was kind of nothing.
So I disagree. I think it was still a slasher. Do we know what the rating of this movie was? We should check that out at some point.
Like rated R or something.
Like, was it PG-13?
Oh,
or was
that's
it
what I'm
R?
asking.
I feel like it was probably R. There's a lot of nudity and like a decent amount of blood and shit. But like, I don't know. I kind of disagree. Like, I think it was a slasher, even though we didn't see like a horrifying amount of gore. Like, there was a decent amount of blood and like, I don't know. It still had that same vibe of like someone hunting you down a hallway.
It was rated R.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The language wasn't terrible.
There was
from
also
what I
a lot
recall.
of boobs and butts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of boobs and butts and like a lot of like
A lot of
blood
boobs
shit.
and butts.
Drug references, like,
And boobs and butts.
yeah, I don't know. So I think I fucking
Keep glazing over the boobs and butts.
I love how every time you say it, I'm like, yeah, but maybe,
Yeah, but like anything else
but
too.
a different topic. I think it was a slasher. I didn't.
I'm not saying it wasn't a slasher. I just didn't think it was a particularly effective slasher.
I didn't hate it at all. I actually kind of liked it, and that might just be because it was like something different than like what we've been watching. You know,
Sure.
we've been watching a lot of rom-coms, a lot of coming of age stories, a lot of like romantic movies.
Yeah,
and
that's
shit.
not unfair. Actually, there was a nice change of pace there that I was like, oh, this is something different.
Yeah, I would say broad strokes, didn't hate it. Like, you
Okay.
hated it?
I mean, I hated the movie, but I didn't hate the experience of watching the movie with you, bud.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I thought it was a nice little. We had a nice little night.
Well, that was the whole reason I wanted to do this podcast with you. So now that we've
So we just
finally
have nice
gotten
little
that-
nights.
No, like, well, now that we've finally gotten that out of each other.
We've gotten one in the
um,
bag.
No, I was gonna say, like, mission accomplished. Good night, everybody. We got him.
Podcast over.
Thanks so much. A banner just dropped behind me. Actually, it's yeah. I mean, didn't hate it. You want to do the beer? Let's do the beer.
Yeah, so we drank what was Southern Tier Pumpkin.
I didn't hate it. I know you didn't like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. It was totally drinkable. It was just it's very sweet. It's very sweet.
And by the
like syrupy.
By the
too.
last couple sips of the last one, it was super syrupy.
Yeah. It had a fine enough flavor. If a little overpowering, maybe.
I think the tagline on the side, which said "pumpkin pie in a beer," or "pumpkin pie in a glass,"
Yeah.
I think that was actually pretty accurate. I think it did taste like pumpkin pie. I think you just don't want to drink pumpkin pie.
Yeah, who wants a mouthful of pumpkin pie?
I think it got us a little toasty though. It was like 8.7. We had a couple other beers and stuff. Like from that standpoint, it was fine. I did
appreciate that. I did appreciate that it got me a little bit farther down the road.
Right. It was also, I think it was sweeter because
it was trying to mask the alcohol.
Yeah, I feel like that's usually a thing.
I get that. But it was like syrupy sweet, and that's not like a thing that I'm looking for.
I like a lot of Southern Tier stuff though.
Sotai.
That's not
Sotai.
No one
Sotai drinks. You like a lot of Sotai drinks.
God,
Sotai.
If Southern Tier listens to this, they'll be so mad.
I'm gonna hashtag everything about this podcast. Sotai.
All right. Make good on that. But otherwise, like, they have that, like, 2X IPA, which is fucking killer.
Sure. Killer because, like, murder in the in the movie.
Tangier is really, really good. This was also really, I didn't dislike it, but, you know, I couldn't drink a lot of it.
We didn't, what did we split, a 4-pack or something?
Well, it only comes in a 4-pack.
Right, so we split a 4-pack. And you know what? It was enough.
And they're 8.6. By the end of the second one, we were both like, I'm okay.
I'm ready to drink something else now.
It's like a good seasonal beer, though, I think. But,
you know what's a really great seasonal beer? Leaf Pile. I forget what brewery does
That's
it.
Greenport. That's Long Island's own.
Yeah, Greenport. Leaf Pile's real good.
I haven't had that in like 2 years.
In quite some time.
Yeah, some time. An amount of time. So, do you want to do 3 sentences? You want to do 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences? You want to do 3? You need 3? Hey, Matt, do you need 3?
I'm gonna take the 3 in case I need it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so sorority girls play prank on friend and fake death of other friend to teach someone a lesson, period. That's 1. Friend, the person, yeah, I got it. Person who they were trying to trick ends up actually murdering the girl as faked in previous prank. And girls freak out, promising that they will never tell another living soul about it. That's 2. And rest of the movie is about girls trying to avoid killer who's trying to get back for murdering the friend in the beginning, but also subverting, like, I don't know. No, I mean, it was bad. 3, period. It was bad.
I love how, I mean, it was bad is the last of your third, is the end of your third sentence.
And you know what? It's not wrong.
Right. All right, here I go. Ready?
Here I go again. Boys, what's my weakness?
No.
Man, okay then.
So, all right, 3 sentences. Ready?
I'm so ready. I've never been more ready.
Really bad, shitty prank that condones roofing someone goes bad and ends in a death.
Well, now I feel like you're just judging the movie.
No,
like,
it was fucked up and stupid. So here we go. Okay. That's 1. Ready?
1.
Number 2.
1.
The parties involved all agreed to take that secret to the grave.
Because of sisterhood.
No pun intended, due to sorority sisterhood. And then several months pass and they graduate. 2.
1. 2. Sorry.
I hate you so much. Upon graduating, people that they know and like the girls themselves start getting picked off by a murderer one by one and start dealing with the regret and shame and horror that they felt about that that prank that went bad.
About Megan.
And then ultimately the end is unsatisfying. 3.
Just like the end of both of our 3 sentences. Ultimately unsatisfying.
Yeah, so, I mean, this movie...
Here's the thing. It did keep me guessing on who the killer was.
Okay, but it didn't because we both... At one point during the movie, Matt and I looked at each other. We're like, well past halfway through. And we were like, all right, top 3 killers. Who do you think it is?
So I came up with snotty blonde girl, like the head.
Who is one of the girls who was part of the original murder?
Yeah, I can't remember her name. What was her name? Do you know?
Jessica.
Yeah. So my top 3 were Jessica, main character's new boyfriend,
who, like, I don't think we ever got his name.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we did, but I don't remember what it is. Mm-hmm. And Carrie Fisher. Those were my top 3.
So mine were Girl they accidentally kill in the beginning is younger sister.
Who shows up at some point. Yeah.
Seemed plausible, right?
Yeah, why not?
Um,
Blonde girl was one of yours as well.
Blonde girl from the original group of girls who's involved in the murder. Again, also Matt and I overlapped there. And then Matt and I also overlapped on main character Cassidy's.
There it is, Cassidy.
New boyfriend. And spoiler alert, it was Cassidy's new boyfriend. It was really frustrating, actually. So here it is. Like
Andy.
His name is Andy.
His name is Robert Paulson.
So this movie is like a weird, poorly done amalgam of like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream.
So much so that the killer's garb was just like a poorly executed like amalgamation of the two.
Well,
like,
he's wearing like a hooded robe, and then we find out later like it's not apparent at all.
At all, it's the graduation robes.
So they graduated, and all these parties where everyone's getting killed towards the end are like graduation parties. So apparently he's wearing a graduation robe with a hood, and that's who the killer is. Okay.
Also, there was a weird fake out towards the end, which I got to tell you got me weirdly confused.
I think we should wait for that.
Okay, you're right. You're the boss.
I'm the boss of you. Co-host. So I mean,
ghost.
I don't know. I don't even know where to begin with this movie because it was kind of all over the place. It was very simple plot wise, but it was all over the place. And
sure. Here's somewhere where I would begin. Would you actually consider this a chick flick?
I see why.
You see why what?
Why my fiance told me that it was. Okay. Like in the vein.
Well, I mean, it's about sisterhood, I guess.
But it's like all sisterhood, and it's all like all the primary characters are female,
women, right?
And it's all about like their friendships and like their frenemy ships and shit, and it's about the sorority, and it's kind of done from a female perspective. And I would argue that like a lot of it was done with like a female audience in mind. Like there's a handful of knocks here and there throughout where it's like, and your hair looks terrible. And it's like, if like a male audience is watching this, they're like, why didn't she tell her that her hair?
Why is she being so mean?
Like, again, this cuts a little bit to the end of the movie, and I don't mean to jump, but at one point you find out, like throughout a lot of the movie, you think that the killer is the girl that they accidentally killed, their friend, played by Audrina Patridge, right?
I don't know who that is.
She's from The Hills or not the OC, but one of them, something, the MTV something.
The MTV Movie Awards, got it.
Nailed it. With the popcorn trophy and all of it. She's
TRL.
Say what, karaoke?
Total Request Live.
I hate you. So, Audrina Patridge is the girl that is their friend that they accidentally murder in the beginning. Wait. So, a lot of the movie, you think it might be her. Like you think like, oh, maybe she didn't die, and she's coming back for them.
That.
Well, no, I mean, like it's the movie tries to make you think that a couple of times, I think, and it's never super plausible. But at points, you're like, but maybe like she didn't die when they thought they killed her and they left her for dead, and it's this whole thing. But at one point, they open a shower and her dead body's hang there, and it's like a skeleton. And then like it's some ADR audio added after the fact that's like, oh, she looks terrible.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was actually ridiculous.
But that's what I'm saying. You and I were not the audience, like the intended audience for this movie.
I don't think the intended audience of this movie was over 14.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, you and I certainly weren't, and for that reason, I think it does belong in the genre.
Okay.
I just bit my tongue as I said that. Did you hear that?
In the genre?
Yeah, it hurt. So, thanks
serves you right.
Thank you for reveling in it. Next.
What's next?
So I mean, like, I don't know. I do think it belongs in the genre.
Okay.
Plot wise, I mean, like, did it keep you entertained? It kept me going.
It definitely kept me guessing because, like you said, halfway through, I was like, all right, who do you think it is? And I kept like going back and forth in my head, going like, okay, it's this person. Okay, maybe it's this person. Okay, it's this person.
Right. So
at least it kept me entertained that way. It kept me guessing.
Just to break it down, there are 1, 2, 3. There are 5 girls, right?
I believe there's 5 girls in the main group.
Jessica, Ellie played by Rumor Willis, right?
Right.
The main girl, Cassidy. I don't remember her name.
Chugs,
who is the brother of Garrett,
the sister of Garrett.
Oh, how have we not mentioned this yet? The dude that they are trying to play the prank on in the beginning, who ends up accidentally murdering the Audrina Patridge character. His name is Garrett.
And he deserved it.
Let it soak in for a second, because no one in anything is named Garrett, and it was fucking mind blowing.
Garrett's out there, and Claire's the Asian lady.
Right, yeah, right. She's the fifth.
The fifth.
Sorority
She's number
sister.
5.
Right, and then Audrina
was
Patridge would have been the sixth.
Megan.
They keep saying Megan. We didn't kill Megan.
Actually, they were very bad about keeping it a secret. They kept announcing it in front of people.
And apparently everyone told someone else. Apparently no one could keep it a secret.
Wait, no. What's her name? That's what was kind of fuzzy for me.
No one knows if Chugs told anyone, but Chugs may have told. You know what?
Chugs told the doctor.
She told the therapist.
Right. That's not what I was.
She told the. Oh my god! I'm just realizing that's why the therapist was murdered.
The main character, though, what's her name? Cassidy. Cassidy never told anyone. Because Ellie told Cassidy's boyfriend.
Right.
Cassidy, who was the one who was like, we should call the cops, and everyone turned on at the very beginning, was the only one who didn't tell anyone.
Chugs told her doctor. Who told Carrie Fisher, though? They said someone told Carrie Fisher.
No, they were. We see Carrie Fisher be told on screen. When she comes back with the shotgun, everyone's like, we killed Megan, and she's like, what? I had no idea.
Really? I thought when the boyfriend comes out, he says, and you told Mrs.
No.
Farberstein Smith.
Carrie Fisher.
Gerber.
Princess Leia. Mrs. Leia.
Stone.
Mrs. Skywalker.
There it is. So.
Organa.
Leia Organa. Sure.
Leia Organa.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like I'm struggling with this movie in terms of plot, because it really wasn't plot. It's literally someone just gets picked off every so often.
Every so often. Also, can we talk about the murder weapon?
I hated this.
So they kill Megan, or Garrett kills Megan because of the prank that he thought she was already dead. And
just to be clear, I didn't kill Megan.
Garrett killed Megan,
right?
With a tire iron, because Ellie
thought she was already dead.
He thought she was already dead,
and they
Ellie
were like,
says
"We have to
something
puncture her lungs so she doesn't float to the top of the lake." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes. Anyway, so she punctures his lungs with the tire iron, or he punctures her lungs with the tire iron, and then they dump her body into a mine shaft or something.
Well, it looks like a well or a mine shaft.
They mentioned it's a mine shaft.
And then they drop the
tire iron on top
in on top. You don't leave the murder weapon there, you dum-dums. Right? You hide it somewhere else. It's like they've never murdered anyone before, and it's kind of ridiculous. What are you new?
Are you new
to murdering?
Yeah.
Well,
Garrett looked at me and goes, wouldn't you melt down the murder weapon? And I'm like, are you okay? Is everything okay at home?
Isn't that where everyone's mind went?
No.
About the murder weapon?
No, 0%.
No, everyone knows you commit the murder and then you get rid of the murder weapon immediately, and then you don't get caught for the murder. And that's how you keep murdering. You murder more and more and more and more, and then there's no... Why are you so quiet?
And they never heard from Matt again.
This still auto posts on Sunday
Somehow
night.
It still posts on Monday morning.
Captures me murdering you. And in a Halloween prank, local podcasters.
Oh my.
Pranks go bad, Matt. I guess that's what I'm saying.
That's the motto, not the motto, the moral of this movie.
And that's why you don't prank.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I don't know. So that was about it. It's just so you find out that it's Cassidy's new boyfriend who's trying to clean up her life for her so she can have a good life afterwards.
Right. Can we just go through this for a second?
Oh wait, but we never finished with the murder weapon. So
right.
So he murders her with the tire iron, and then the tire iron is the murder weapon, but it's fashioned to a weird shuriken or whatever.
So all right.
A throwing star with knives on every end.
This is one of the many things that made me think this was the poor man's knockoff of I Know You Did Last Summer, right? Because you Scream, whatever, it was just a knife, right? It was a big fucking knife in Scream. that the killer used, right? And I know you did last summer. It was like
A hook?
a fishing hook,
Yeah,
and I think that was like something to do with how the person they killed died or
Was
something.
it? I thought they hit her with a car.
I thought she like flew off a car, but then they like threw her body in the water or something.
I think she flew off of the car like an
Right?
angel.
But didn't they like throw her body in the water, and that's
Yeah,
why
I
like
think that's
I was like, oh, fish hook kind of makes sense maybe here to me.
Sure.
This, it was like, oh, they killed that first person with a tire iron. Okay. Then from that point on, the killer uses a tire iron that, you're absolutely right, it was like a weird shuriken or something. It was like all 4 points of the tire iron were a different blade or something. Like but not even like one was like a straight up stabbing murder knife like Scream.
Right.
One was like a weird forked knife. One was like a fucking stiletto, like just like a straight point.
Was that what it was? I wasn't really paying attention.
And I don't even remember what the fourth one was, but it was like,
I had to shield my eyes.
and it also, it folded up. Did you see that at points? It like folded up into like a smaller thing.
Because it was like in his back pocket at one point, wasn't it?
And he obviously had multiples of them, because there were times where like he'd kill someone with it, and then they'd come upstairs and it was still in the wall, but then someone else would get killed somewhere else with a different one.
So true. I forgot
Like,
about that.
he made multiple ridiculous tire iron, like novelty knives. Is that where we're going? Is that what he's done here?
Listen,
That takes it from crazy to much crazier.
I really need to have so many of these just to get this job
Like, I'm just imagining him in like his like crazy workshop making his crazy knife with his crazy brain, going like, I just gotta kill him, all.
I don't think 3's enough.
That's not forked enough. Hold on, let me just make this a bigger. Oh, it doesn't look like Scream. Got to make this one look like Scream.
Sure.
All right, just like talking to himself again and again and again and again. You know, like you do when you make your knives.
Or like you do when you make your knives.
Like anyone
Like
who's
you
ever
do when you
murdered
make
a
your
murderer makes knives, right?
Clearly.
So,
Clearly.
that was a horrifying thing to me. But one of the truly ridiculous things to me here was, okay, so let's go through the cast of characters in terms of who we thought could have been the killer, right? We thought Jessica, the main blonde girl, right? Because she was like a very strong personality from the beginning.
Yeah, it kind of seemed to me like because she took control of everything. I thought maybe she was killing off something that would ruin her future.
And it was kind of her idea to like
cover everything
hide
up,
the body and like not right. So her, right? She was prime suspect number one, right?
Garrett thought that her senator's son boyfriend was like in on it, maybe, which I actually like. When you said it, I was like, yeah, that could be, that makes sense.
Which was a weird red herring at the end, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But we're just going through like the suspects, right? So it was her, then it was the Garrett, the guy who killed her, right? Who they never really like touch upon after the murder.
Well, that was kind of my thing with Garrett. It was like they left it too open.
Yeah.
Like after the opening scene where like the first murder takes place, he's nowhere to be seen at all. And I was like, okay, so that's a little easy.
Right.
And that's the same thing that I felt with Carrie Fisher too.
Well, I was about to say, and then there's Carrie Fisher, right? Who's like the
house marm.
The house mother, the house mom. Did they say marm?
No,
she marm?
They said house mother.
Like the house mother for the sorority, right? And you, like, in theory, they show her first in the movie, and she's very, like, solitary.
Like, standing in the dark by
while
herself.
These parties are going on and shit. And you're thinking, like, oh, maybe they, like, insulted the honor of her house. Or she knows that they, like, hurt one of the girls that was supposed to be under her watch or whatever. Like, you could see it happening. Right?
For sure.
Then,
and when they have the big, like, party, she's conveniently off grounds or whatever.
Right. That's true. Yeah. She goes away. She drives away for one of the parties where there's a bunch
the graduation party,
a bunch of deaths and shit for the graduation party, right? So then you also meet Audrina Patridge's Megan, the girl who died in the beginning. You meet her younger sister,
who shows up to like the memorial or whatever it is,
right? But she's also there for like the party or whatever,
right?
And she's like, "I'm gonna rush the sorority next year." Ha ha ha! Conveniently showing up, and you're like, she knows, and she's gonna murder them, right? So again, fine, right?
I also, and I will say this, I had suspicions about Ellie, the meek one, because like,
Rumor Willis.
Yes,
yeah.
I thought maybe it was one of those things that she was pretending to be meek.
She was the shyest of all of the girls originally involved.
But during one of the deaths, you like see her in the background, like, oh no, and I was like, okay, it can't be her unless
this is a Scream scenario,
a Scream or Right. Or Scream 2 scenario where there's multiple killers.
Right. That would have been right. And that would have been. I actually don't put that past this movie, but
Sure.
maybe, who knows? So then we also have Jessica's senator's son boyfriend, who seems like an asshole, but like he was
no more so than any other guy.
But he was outside enough for you to be like, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe him. Okay. And then I don't think I had any other like real prime suspects other than the main girl, Cassidy's new boyfriend, Andy.
And
right?
I said that I actually called it as well, just because I thought it was a little convenient that in the 6 months between the murder and their graduation, she all of a sudden has a new boyfriend who's like all up in her business.
And valedictorian.
And they kept stressing this app on her phone where she knew exactly how
She could
far away he
track
was.
him,
Yeah.
which was weird.
It was weird.
And I have to, so ultimately it ended up being him, and he had like the least motive, and I was at least hoping that his motive, like what you find out that it was him, right?
And you find out that he was secretly her brother or her.
I was hoping that it was like, well, I was there that night, or I was secretly dating her, or I was secretly her brother, or what the fuck ever.
But no, not even a little bit.
But she's just Cassidy's new boyfriend who's trying to like make sure her past doesn't catch up with her. And I fucking hated that.
Yeah, I really disliked it.
I thought that was a dumb thing.
Also, the actor had a real hard time hiding his British accent the entire time, and it was really distracting.
Yeah, no, he was bad. But
Goes in you.
But I was, what was that from again?
New Girl.
New Girl.
I forget his first name, but the character's last name is Goes in You.
Is this pronounced Goes in You?
Goes in You.
Goes in You. God, New Girl's really good.
It's Ryan. Ryan Goes in You.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I was really let down by that because it didn't have. I would have rather that it was like something more obvious, like it was the little sister or something,
or the blonde, or like trying to clean up the mess behind her.
Whatever,
yeah.
right? Someone who had more skin in the game, as opposed to like
you know what I
like
would have
crazy.
What I would have actually liked more than it if it was the senator himself cleaning up, like
just a 60-year-old man murdering a bunch of
no, that's
girls.
not why. But I mean, like cleaning up after like. He's like at one point there's a sit down between him and the aggressive blonde where he's like Jessica, where he's like, I don't think you're right for my son, and like there's like a weird back and forth that like in the grand scheme of the movie means nothing.
No, I mean it would suggest that maybe he knows about it because you find out later that like Jessica had told the boyfriend about it.
Right.
So it would suggest that he knows, and he's saying like nothing from your past better ever come out to bite us, you know. And it's like, oh, okay, what does he know? This is, I don't know. Ultimately,
okay. So we talked about this, but like I've mentioned it a little bit. So there was that weird red herring where the senator's son's the senator's son, the boyfriend of Jessica, like pops out as the murderer. I don't understand what happened. I really don't. Like, can you explain it to me?
No. So at one point,
I cannot.
They think they're catching up to the murderer, and it's him, and he's in the robe without the hood. And why the fuck is he wearing the robe? And then he's very aggressive with all of the girls.
Not just aggressive, like he attacks them. Like attacks some of them.
Right. Yeah, that's true. He like he's like choking one of them at one point or whatever.
Doesn't he have an axe at some point too?
I don't remember if he has an axe.
No, he gets killed with the axe.
But then he's choking Cassidy, and then he gets stabbed through the head.
With the tire iron.
Oh, no, they're in the bathroom, and he's like, he does have an axe, and he's shattering the door to the bathroom while Jessica and Cassidy are in the bathroom. He's like, my dad won't be happy with this. Yeah. And he's like, total psycho.
Yeah.
But then when he's choking out Cassidy, he gets stabbed through the head out of nowhere by Cassidy's new boyfriend, who is the killer.
Right.
At which point they see the fucking stupid folded up fucking makeshift like third replica of a tire iron
in his back pocket,
sticking out of his pocket or some shit. And they're like, oh, that must be it. Like, this is it. And then he immediately murders Jessica. The end was very rushed also in that respect. Like, there was, I don't know.
Okay, wait. So you said he murdered Jessica. Garrett, how many murders were there in this movie?
Oh, doing this? We're just going to throw this?
You're
just going to throw this holiday bet in my face, Matt? We're
going to do it.
Oh, you are.
Oh, we are. How many deaths were there?
11 deaths.
There were 11 deaths.
What did you bet again?
10.
Fuck.
How many did you bet?
4.
Yeah. You were way off.
I was way off. So Matt was closest without going over. There were 11 deaths in this movie, counting the
supposed
death of the killer.
But even without
him, there were 10 deaths.
There were 10 deaths. So I guess I get to pick the next holiday spectacular.
Yeah, if there's going to be a holiday, Thanksgiving holiday movie, Matt gets to pick that.
Or if there's going to be a Christmas one, I get to pick at least the first one.
Yeah, there's going to be. I think we decided December is going to be a month of Christmas movies. So I'm just saying.
Whole month of Christmas.
A whole month. So anyway, I don't know, dude. I didn't hate this movie.
I didn't love it. I mean, I want to watch more. Like, I want to watch more scary movies. Like, I feel like maybe next October we should do like a whole month of Halloween movies.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be fun.
I think we'd be hard pressed to find more, but let's go for it.
Jennifer's Body might be one.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Okay. So let me ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Did you have a favorite character in the
movie? I had a least favorite character in the movie.
I mean, you can tell me that, but I also still
I'm trying to think. I'm just off the top of my head. I hated Chugs. I hated her.
I didn't hate Chugs. Chugs was fine. Chugs was barely in the movie. If you actually add up the amount of screen time that Chugs got, she was in the movie for
but she was just such a dirtball that made me so mad. I don't know. There's something about her.
She did seem shitty to everyone she talked to,
including her brother. Like this wasn't she a part of the prank that
she was a part of the prank that ultimately made her brother think
a murderer.
He murdered a girl who he had roofied, which then caused him to then murder a girl.
Right. So Chugs is my least favorite.
Yeah, so bad. I would agree. Yeah, Chugs is pretty bad.
I guess the main character, what's her name?
Cassidy.
Cassidy. She was nice. She's also a poor man's Rashida Jones.
She does weirdly look like Rashida Jones
and sounds like her.
Yeah,
which was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I think either Cassidy or Carrie Fisher were my favorite characters because Carrie
Fisher comes back with a fucking vengeance.
Carrie Fisher, when she comes back, she just like has a shotgun.
She's wielding a shotgun,
and she's a super badass. She's like, "You think I'm afraid of you?" And she ultimately dies.
Not in my house.
I know.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. And she was like, I mean, she ultimately dies, but it was still like her presence in the movie was really, really good. And I'm not like attributing her any, Carrie Fisher fandom from that. I think she was ultimately like one of the better performances in the movie, and her character was really good.
Yeah.
Also, Cassidy was good, but like Cassidy was also like kind of, she didn't like cause the prank in the beginning, but she kind of like was complacent with it.
I'm still confused about who was in on the initial prank.
I think everyone but her thought they were roofing or pretending to roofie the girl in the beginning.
Well, because Megan, there was the turn there that like when Megan starts like vomiting or whatever, or like
that
spitting
was fake.
up. Right, that was fake. And who were the people who knew about that?
I think everyone but Cassidy. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Cassidy's let in on it from that point on. And then to the extent that Cassidy was complicit in all of it from that point on, like she's not the best.
Right.
But she's also not the worst monster.
Well, let's also talk about who survived this movie. So it was Cassidy, Ellie, the scared, good one.
Yeah, Rumor Willis.
Yeah. And Megan's sister,
Audrina Patch's little sister. I think Anna. Her name.
I don't remember the character's name, but those are the only three. And they walk out of the burning house with like the slow motion music.
Can I tell you, I loved that.
I actually did too.
I think that was. I
was like, oh, badass.
There was like a badass song going behind them, and the house was like burning down.
Oh, songs, by the way, we didn't do soundtrack at all.
Nothing crazy. Likey Lee. There was like that one Likey Lee song, "Emergency."
Swayze. There was some Swayze.
Great. So happy about this.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm reading things.
No, I know. I feel like there was nothing that appealed to me. I feel like
Franz Ferdinand.
Oh, there was that Franz Ferdinand song.
No You Girls.
No You Girls. Yeah.
And Dragonette. I Get Around.
Don't know it. Yeah, didn't recognize it. Never would have known.
Yeah.
Never would have known.
I Shazam the shit out of it.
But the Franz Ferdinand, the Likey Lee, and the
Swayze.
Oh, yeah. No, never mind. Yeah.
This wasn't a 3 thing.
Yeah. I was like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
So, I mean, soundtrack didn't like blow me away. I would have liked more. I would have liked like a little more.
Yeah, slasher. Yeah, but that's not like a song. I mean, it might be a song. You sang it.
I just sang it. So it's, like,
it's a song. I don't know.
If it wasn't, now it is.
Slasher movies don't really have great soundtracks attributed to them for the most part.
But it would be really cool if one did.
I'm sure there's some out there. Didn't Rob Zombie do like a couple zombie movies or like scary movies? I would imagine that had pretty interesting soundtracks.
So Rob Zombie did like a remake of the original Halloween that was very bad, and I actually watched it last year.
Didn't he? He also did like
House of a Thousand Corpses
and the other one, yeah. There was a like the spiritual sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. It's the one with like Chris Hardwick in it and Rainn Wilson.
No way for me to know.
Those that's a real movie.
There's no way to know.
No one could ever know.
No one could ever know.
No one could ever know that.
So I don't know. But that was my favorite movie, character. Do we have anything else?
Well, sure. I mean, we got to see what the critics thought about this.
Shit. Yeah, Roddy Tomatoes. How'd Roddy Tomatoes treat this film?
Poorly.
How poorly?
So
wait, can I guess before you say it?
Well, I mean,
sure. I can't see it. Okay. I'm gonna guess that this has like a 60% audience score and like a 30% critic score.
Wrong and wrong.
Really? What do you got?
So it's 23% tomato meter, the critic score.
Critic score, got
so
it.
like you were close. You said 30, but this is 23, lower.
It's not that close. All right.
And the audience score is 31%.
Whoa.
Real low.
See, I had thought this might be like a culty sort of like.
It wasn't like cheaply made enough to be like bad. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't so bad that it was good. It was just kind of there.
Do you feel like the exact same movie, but with like more highbrow names in it, like bigger names in it, like would have gotten a higher audience score at least? Like if it was like Channing Tatum who played the dickhead boyfriend, and like I don't know, if Audrina Patridge was in it longer, maybe. Like
no, I think maybe it would have like if it had been played more tongue in cheek, it would have been better.
Interesting.
Like they really went for this as like a real horror movie, and it didn't play that way. Like if they like made it more like
the second the murder weapon was a
tire iron like with blades on
like
it,
like a home fashioned tire iron. Yeah, like it would also. I was thinking about this as you were saying it before. If it was the tire iron, and one end of it had been sharpened into like something, and the rest of it was just a tire iron,
I would have been fine with it.
I would have been way better with it if
sure.
like someone had welded a knife onto one end and also like a different type of knife onto another. Like that was fucking so dumb. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay.
I didn't care for that.
I mean, I'm not surprised by the critic score or the audience score, to be honest. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised by the audience score, but not by the critic score at all.
Okay, so now I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Are we going to rank this in our regular list of movies, or are we going to rank this as a separate list? Like, I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be much of a ranking right now. Or is this, or like holiday movies going to be their own separate list?
I think you're onto something there. I think we need to do a separate holiday list because I think this doesn't really like fit into any of the same criteria.
Because I can tell you right now that if it was going to go into a regular list, this may be lower than even Made in Manhattan.
No, this is still like above bottom three for me. I think.
Really?
Yeah. But I think you're right. I think this does have to go. I think there has to be a separate holiday list, which I'm excited about.
Sure, but
because now we gotta fill that list out.
There's so many movies that like kind of go between. Like if we were gonna do Love Actually as like a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be one list.
All right. Well,
I was wrong.
Where do you want to put it? Let's just put what number it is in the order, what's above it, and what's behind it. That's all we'll do because the list is getting very long.
So long, which is exciting but also scary.
Please keep listening. Please, for the love of God, keep listening.
Stop begging. You sound desperate.
I am desperate.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, this is going to go at the very bottom of my list. And I mean very bottom, almost very bottom. It's going to be number 16. It is going to... Blue Crush is better than this movie. Made in Manhattan is not better than this movie. Sorority Row lays at number 16 on my list.
So Made in Manhattan is still below this for you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I will say, oh shit, Matt.
Oh shit, Garrett.
I think we're the same.
You're gonna put it between 15 and 16?
This is gonna be number 16 for me as well, second from the bottom. So Blue Crush will be...
No, Blue Crush is
14?
14 for you.
What Women Want will be 15. This will be 16. And Made in Manhattan will be 17. This is episode 17 that we're on right now.
We are.
Shit.
Yeah.
Top of the list hasn't changed at all. What's your number one still?
Devil
Wears Prada?
Devil Wears Prada, and top of your list is While You Were Sleeping. Yeah, 90s jazz. Got it.
God, every time. So good. Shit. Yeah, I mean, they have to be included in the same list because you're absolutely right. Like, Love Actually is like the Christmas movie.
And then, like, when we get to New Year's, it's going to be like New Year's Eve. And
then when we get to Valentine's Day, it's going to be Valentine's
Day.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
We get to Mother's Day, it'll be Mother's Day.
The people get it, Matt.
Is there a Mother's Day movie? I kind of made that up.
I'm sure there's a Mother's Day movie.
No, I meant like named Mother's Day.
You talk to your mother like that on Mother's Day?
Oh, you talk to your mother? You talking to your mother like that?
On Mother's Day? Nice.
Real nice.
God, that's such a good skit. Anyway, I think that's it. Overall.
Did people like this? Oh, not did people like this. Should this have died?
Oh, fucking. No. I think this is like a fine, like, shitty Halloween movie, to be honest. I think this is a fine, shitty slasher. Like, I think there are way worse horror movies than this.
Right, but I feel like there's so many better horror movies than this.
I also feel like there are so many better chick flicks than this. Because, like, again, this really toes the line. Like, it's not there, but I see where the audience, like, I see why you would think the audience might be that.
Like, I feel like if I'm watching, like, IFC on, like, around Halloween, this doesn't even make the list of movies that should be on there.
No, that's because IFC shows good movies.
Sure.
So, I don't get it.
There's that.
This would be on, like, if Spike TV still existed.
Does Spike TV not exist anymore?
No, it's the Paramount Network now.
Classy.
We should have this conversation off
mic. I just thought it was interesting.
Well, I could tell that you're upset.
I'm not upset.
Well,
I feel like some notice would have been nice.
I don't know. I just feel like your shoulders are a little higher than they were a second ago.
Not upset. I'm not upset.
No, I mean, like, your eyes. You're allergic. That's why your eyes look like that. Anyway, it was fine, and I think we're done. Did we murder this movie? Are we good? Is it done? Have we murdered it with a tire iron?
I think the movie's been murdered, and so is my spirit.
Great. Thank you so much.
Great.
So I think that was it for this episode of Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks Halloween.
Where can they find us, Garrett? He's really going for this.
You should do it now. Oh, sorry. It's at drunkguysonchickflicks at gmail.com, at DGOCF on Twitter, Drunk Guys on Chick Flicks on Instagram. Facebook, we don't have a Facebook.
We do have a Facebook, but fuck Facebook.
But don't look at it or fucking interact with it or even acknowledge that it exists because
tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a loved one.
No, I mean not your mom. Your mom won't like it.
My mom certainly doesn't.
My mom will not like it. No one tell my mom.
I've already told your mom. Does your mom not know? Yeah, no, but we would appreciate any likes and subscribes. And honestly, if you guys could rate, that'd be great. I didn't mean that to rhyme. I hate myself.
Or a date. Eat some
dates. Just rhyme dates with dates. I hate
All right, that's it. Happy Halloween. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, be safe out there. Bye.